My fiancé shared a message about recognizing your value, ladies, and not accepting anything subpar right after turning down my marriage offer. I gave it a like and replied, gentlemen as well. Half a year on, she spotted my betrothal news. Her frantic phone conversation that evening disclosed, I, 29 guy, still find it hard to accept that I'm putting this down, but that's where we stand. Have to vent this out since the past day has been eye-opening. So roughly 7 months back, I asked my partner, Natalie, 28, to marry me. We'd been a couple for 4 years, cohabiting for 2. I believed we were rock solid. We discussed wedlock, children, the entire life plan. She appeared thrilled every time it arose. I arranged this full romantic night. Not extravagantly costly. I'm a bookkeeper, not a software whiz, but heartfelt. Brought her to the plant conservatory where our initial outing happened, held off until dusk near the water feature, knelt with a band I'd scrimped for half a year. Traditional single diamond. Precisely what she'd indicated she adored. She replied, no, not I require some reflection or we should discuss it. Simply, no. Claimed she wasn't prepared. Felt like things were progressing too swiftly after 4 years, had to discover her identity and check out other options. I'm there with the jewelry feeling foolish as onlookers observe. The ride back was quiet. She relocated 3 days afterward to crash with her pal, Melissa. We were finished. That abruptly. This is where it becomes intriguing. That very evening she uploads on online platforms. Recognize your value, ladies. Never accept less than what's due to you. Elevate yourself. Power woman, understand your importance. The replies were precisely as anticipated. Absolutely, Majesty. You merit the universe. Don't compromise. Her buddies boosting her as if she'd just fled a dungeon rather than declining someone who cared for her. I was up at 2 a.m. browsing this. 4 years. I backed her during her job shift, assisted in clearing her education debts, stood by when her father fell ill. But evidently I was a compromise. So I approved the upload, then added, gentlemen likewise. The quietude following was profound. She removed my reply in under 60 minutes, but not prior to shared acquaintances noticing. No matter, I switched to routine mode, job, fitness center, rest, cycle. Removed networking apps from my device, concentrated on personal growth. Began counseling since why not? Finest choice incidentally. Aided me understand I'd been shrinking myself to elevate her. Around 2 months afterward, my colleague Jenna, 26 female, inquired if I'd like to get Java post a tough review we'd endured jointly. Purely platonic, she was aware of the split. We began spending time. She was unique, straightforward, understood her desires, valued my actions rather than constantly demanding extra. Java evolved into meals. Meals became romance. I maintained discretion as I wasn't aiming to bounce back. But truly, it was like inhaling freely after suppressing respiration for ages. Jump ahead to the previous week. Jenna and I became promised. She asked me, actually, stated she recognized her goals and saw no reason to delay. I agreed right away. We shared a basic reveal. Merely an image of us trekking with lifelong exploration companion. Affirmative. My device erupted with well wishes. Former pals, relatives, associates. It felt good. Then at 11:43 p.m., Natalie rang. I nearly ignored it, but interest prevailed. Greetings. Labored respiration. Then, is this for real? Natalie, half a year Mason? Half a year and you're betrothed? I remained composed. Yes, felicitations are typically expected. To your associate. The timid one from finance? Jenna's not timid. She's simply not vocal about her successes. Her name is Jenna. We're quite content. This is mad. We shared 4 years. How could you simply proceed? The identical manner you did by declining my offer and labeling it compromising. Quiet. Then she unleashed the surprise. I didn't expect you'd truly advance. I assumed you'd linger. Linger for what? And this is where she exposed the true nature of the past half year. Revision 1. Good grief, the feedback to my entry. Appreciate all the encouragement. Now for the remainder of that dialogue as it deteriorates. After I questioned, linger for what? There was this extended break, then she began weeping. Not sorrowful weeping, irritated weeping. I had to explore other possibilities, all right? Melissa constantly described these men she encountered. Finance experts, attorneys, business starters. She claimed I was too youthful to commit to my initial major partner. I chuckled, genuinely chuckled. So, I was a fallback? No, I desired certainty. I figured if I explored romance for 12 months, gained more exposure, then we could reunite and I'd confirm you were the correct pick. By turning down my offer in view of others, I didn't anticipate you'd view the upload. We share 137 common contacts there, Natalie. She became protective then. You don't grasp the stress females endure. Melissa presented me various pieces on ladies who wed their first significant beau and forever pondered alternatives. I didn't wish to harbor bitterness toward you eventually, so rather you embarrassed me and anticipated I'd pause while you sampled other fellows. It wasn't that way. I scarcely romanced anybody. Now that piqued interest. Scarcely? Further quiet. Then the fellows Melissa connected me with were unlike anticipated. It appears Sovereign Natalie's advancement quest didn't unfold as hoped. The finance specialist solely sought casual encounters. The attorney vanished post 2 outings when she declined intimacy. The business starter was really jobless and residing with folks, merely possessed a strong online presence. I grasped fairly soon that our connection was unique. I planned to contact at the annual point. Portray as if I'd matured and was set. You'd offer again, and we'd enjoy bliss forever founded on deception? It wasn't deception. I did mature. I discovered my desires. Yes, you discovered you desired your reserve. Apologies, but this reserve discovered somebody who selected me, primarily. She erupted. Began yelling regarding how Jenna was an inferior choice and a temporary fix. How I was hastening to wound her. How our shared contacts viewed it dubious how swiftly I progressed. I kept steady. Natalie, you terminated our bond. You clarified I fell short. I honored that and advanced. I discovered somebody who views me as her primary selection, not her secure choice post-market sampling. You're committing a major error. She doesn't comprehend you as I do. You're correct. She doesn't know the me who subdued his shine to ease another's comfort. She knows the addition who appears completely. I prefer him more. Then she struck with, when you grasp what you forfeited and return pleading, I won't be available. Fine, since I won't be pleading anywhere. Farewell, Natalie. I disconnected, assumed that concluded it. I erred. Revision 2. It's been 72 hours post the call. Prepare yourselves as Natalie and her group escalated from nil to maximum swiftly. Initially, Melissa initiated. She messaged Jenna on the platform prior to Jenna knowing her identity. The note was a gem of control. Hello, lady. Just reaching out female to female. I'm pals with Mason's former, and I figured you ought to learn some facts about your betrothed. He's obviously utilizing you as a temporary. He was fixated on Natalie, offered after pressuring her for weeks. When she stated she required contemplation, he essentially monitored her online activity. Now he's overwhelming you with affection to provoke her envy. Don't succumb. You appear kind and merit superior to being another's vendetta bond. Jenna displayed it to me promptly. We chuckled over it. Then she replied, Appreciate the worry, but I'm wondering why you're more engaged in my bond than your pal's romantic pursuits. How did those introductions fare for her? Melissa sealed her out right away. Claw. But they persisted. Subsequently arrived the proxies, shared contacts who abruptly wanted to verify on me. Brad, whom I hadn't conversed with in ages. Hey, mate. Learned of the betrothal. Rapid shift, eh? Certain you're not accelerating. My university dorm mate, Derek. Man, Natalie's truly distressed. Perhaps you two should converse? Even my relative messaged. Natalie contacted me. She's concerned about you taking rash steps. Perhaps decelerate? The nerve. I uploaded one item online. Amusing how folks who didn't inquire during your recovery abruptly concern your joy. 20 minutes on, Natalie rang from an alternate line. I'd sealed her primary. I responded as I sensed it'd be noteworthy. Mason, we must discuss this responsibly. We truly don't. You're evidently pained and reacting wildly. I comprehend. But ruining what we possessed due to arrogance. What we possessed? We possessed a bond where you were evidently seeking improvements while retaining me as reserve. We possessed 4 years where I thought we were constructing jointly while you awaited superior. That's ruined, Natalie. You ruined it. I erred. Individuals err. Your error was assuming I'd remain while you determined if you could achieve better. My error was offering to somebody already halfway departed. So, you're wedding Jenna from resentment. I'm wedding Jenna because she gazed at me and considered, yes, him, he's it. No hesitations. No, permit me view other possibilities. Just yes. She altered approaches. What of all I aided you through? When you were tense about your certification tests? When your mother fell ill? I was present. You were. And I was present when your father underwent operation. When you altered professions. When your nervousness was severe. That's what companions do. But it doesn't imply you possess my tomorrow. I comprehend you, Mason. This isn't your style. You don't advance this rapidly. You evaluate all. Perhaps that since I expended 4 years evaluating how to please you rather than questioning if I was pleased. Quiet. Then in a faint tone. Were you not pleased? I was pleased sufficiently. But sufficiently isn't sufficient now. So that's all? You're discarding 4 years for somebody you've known briefly? No, I'm opting to create anew with somebody who selected me primarily. Not as a retreat, not as a secure choice, primarily. When this collapses, if it collapses, it'll still have been more truthful than our bond. I disconnected once more. But the true highlight occurred yesterday. Revision 3. So recall how Natalie was depicting herself as the devastated former who merely erred. Yeah, regarding that, Jenna and I were dining yesterday when her device alerted. Her closest pal, Rachel, forwarded her captures from a romance application. Imagine who possessed an account. Sovereign Natalie personally. But here's the detail. The account was established 5 months prior. 2 months pre her declining my offer. The description? Business-oriented thinking. Seeking somebody driven who can equal my vibe. No space for average. There were captures of her chats informing prospects she was newly unattached and prepared to advance in every aspect. I calculated. She was on romance apps during our jewelry hunting, during our tomorrow plotting, during my scrimping for her ideal band. Jenna inquired if I desired to view them. Affirmed yes, I required to. The exchanges were revealing. Her discussing how her former was nice but short on drive. How she required a gentleman who could supply the existence I merit. How she was too youthful to accept cozy. One fellow questioned what concluded her prior bond. Her answer? I surpassed him. He was satisfied with average. I require superiority. Average? Years. Assisting one another through existence. Constructing jointly. Average. But the finest portion? The recent action on the account was from 3 days prior. Poster call. Poster sobs about airing. She refreshed her images and description. Bird reborn from ruins. Recognize your value and include surcharge. I remained gazing at these captures and simply chuckled. Not resentful chuckling. Ease, since I ultimately perceived it distinctly. Then, as if fate aimed to emphasize, Natalie messaged from another fresh line. Mason, I've been reflecting extensively. I'm prepared to pardon you for advancing so rapidly if we can begin anew. I perceive now that you required to sense desired, and I acknowledge my role in that. We can resolve this. She's prepared to pardon me? I captured that message and ultimately uploaded it online for the initial occasion in ages. When somebody displays their true self, trust it. Thankful for the insights and even more thankful for the tomorrow. Also, expert advice. If you're going to engage in schemes, ensure no traces remain on romance apps. Marked Jenna with grateful for selecting me, primarily, eternally. My device detonated. Our shared contacts who'd received Natalie's account ultimately witnessed the reality. The notes began arriving. Man, I was clueless. She informed us you vanished post the offer. Hold on, she was on romance apps during your time? Derek rang. Mate, apologies. She portrayed it as you becoming unstable post the decline. I ought to have realized. Even my relative messaged. Well, this is uncomfortable. She certainly omitted some facts. My fault. But Natalie's reaction, this is where she truly revealed her authentic nature. Concluding revision. It's been 7 days post the detonation. Moment for the concluding revision as I'm finished allocating this attention. Post my upload, Natalie escalated dramatically. Crafted an entire platform tale sequence on control and deception. How I was exploiting fragility and rallying others against her. The lady who was covertly on romance apps during our time was labeling me controlling. The humor creates itself, but here's where she erred. She overlooked that Melissa possessed entry to her romance accounts to assist refine them. And Melissa, observing the shift, chose to protect herself. She disclosed all to the circle. Turns out Natalie didn't merely establish the account 2 months pre-declining me. She'd been vigorously romancing for 5 months pre the offer, not merely scanning, attending real outings. Informing these fellows she was unattached. There was an entire chart. No exaggeration. She and Melissa possessed a chart evaluating men by earnings, occupation, appearance, and spouse capability. I was listed too. Placed 4 in reliability but 11 in existence capability. Position 11 from 15. The fellow placed 1. A risk investor who proved a digital currency enthusiast who forfeited all in a joke token downfall. She'd been conversing with him for ages, intending to switch to him. But when his domain crumbled 2 weeks pre my offer, abruptly I appeared superior. She declined my offer not to discover herself, but since she believed she could surpass position 11. When the romance apps failed to provide the enhancements she sought, she intended to return to dependable 11. Melissa forwarded all this to our collective discussion with, I can't continue fabricating for her. She exploited me also. The discussion fell quiet, then detonated. Folks were furious. Not solely at the infidelity, but at the control. How she'd forced everyone to choose factions based on fabrications. How she'd depicted me as the villain accelerating into a temporary. Natalie attempted containment. Uploaded on false companions and disloyalty. How all were misinterpreting the circumstances. Then the supreme sufferer ploy. As a female, I'm not permitted to possess criteria without persecution. Criteria, that's what she termed it. She began shedding subscribers hourly. The fellows she'd been conversing with during our time started distributing their own captures. One contained her stating she was awaiting her beau to offer so she could view the band pre-choosing. She planned to assess yes based on the band, not our bond. The band. Then arrived the ultimate effort. She appeared at my residence complex. Fortunately, I'd already supplied protection her image. Always anticipating now. They contacted me. There's a Natalie demanding to meet you. Claims it's urgent. Is she harmed or in direct peril? No, sir. Then it's not urgent. Kindly request her departure. If she declines, summon authorities. She departed, but not creating a commotion that several dwellers recorded. One recording reached a video site. Arrogant former creates disturbance at residence because her reserve scheme became betrothed. It achieved minor popularity. 800K watches last I verified. Yesterday, I received a concluding message from another fresh line. Well done, Mason. You triumphed. You ruined my image and rallied all against me. Hope you're satisfied with your lesser. When she betrays you, and she shall. Recall you possessed somebody who cared sufficiently to desire certainty. But you couldn't pause. Your pride couldn't manage it. Savor your ordinary existence with your ordinary spouse. You two merit one another. I didn't reply, merely relayed it to my attorney pal who's been recording all an event I require a protection directive. But here's the point. I am satisfied, truly. Simply satisfied. Jenna and I prepare meals jointly. We chuckle at silly programs. She places memos in my meal. I delight her with blooms merely because it's midweek. We're organizing a modest ceremony since neither requires validating to anybody. She witnessed me at my nadir and selected me regardless. I witnessed her at her most authentic and selected her in return. No schemes, no charts, no reserves. Natalie's accurate on one aspect. We do merit one another. Regarding her, last report, she relocated to her origin town. Erased much of her online presence. Melissa uploaded some ambiguous sayings on discovering true companions and development via hardship. The platform upload on recognizing your value remains. My reply vanished, but the web recalls all. Somebody turned it into a joke format. Recognize your value, ladies, accompanied by captures of her romance account during a bond. It's harsh, but I didn't create or distribute it. Amusing aspect of value. It's not regarding what you believe you merit. It's regarding what benefit you offer. I grasped that painfully. So did she. Anyhow, I'm concluded with this segment. Ceremony organizing is genuinely enjoyable when you're with somebody who desires to wed you, not the concept of what you might be controlled into turning. To anybody perusing this in a comparable spot, when somebody demonstrates via deeds that you're a choice, not a focus, trust them. Don't pause for them to determine your importance. Locate somebody who recognizes it from the start. And yes, gentlemen, recognize your value likewise. Farewell. Amendment. For all inquiring, yes, Jenna is aware of all. She perused these entries pre-uploading. She chuckled at the chart and stated, merely, position 11. Darling, you're obviously a leading 3 in the correct individual's roster. She's the true champion. Also, to those claiming I advanced too swiftly with Jenna, perhaps. But when you've expended years in a bond where you're perpetually trying out for another's endorsement, being with somebody who simply recognizes is invigorating. Concluding amendment, Natalie discovers our desires. Received an extensive correspondence from a legal expert on slander and psychological harm. My attorney pal states it's rubbish. Reality is a full safeguard, and I possess proofs for all. She's requiring I remove it and compensate her $15,000 for harm to her image. The identical image she ruined herself via infidelity and fabricating. Certainly, Jan. My legal expert dispatched a basic reply. All declarations are accurate and recorded. Kindly halt interaction with my patron. Any additional bother will lead to suitable judicial measures. Quiet, since. Existing prosperously truly is the finest retribution. That, and possessing a betrothed who views the entire circumstance as ridiculously amusing as I do.